time to defeat Isaac Newton and Alan Turing in a video game. This is Three Body Problem, Season 1, Episode 3. I'm John Sark. I'm a blind film critic. I want you to subscribe to me. I said those three things, and I know you're like, what? Just focus on the subscribe thing and click it, and that'll solve your three body, because you're only choosing the one of the three things to focus. Anyway, this is the third episode. So it would make sense that on the third episode, we would hear the phrase three body problem and learn what three body problem is in relation to the show. So good job. It all ties in nicely. The show still has excellent audio description by Darren Polish. So he's doing some great work. It really comes into play towards the end of the episode. I don't want to get too spoilery, because then it's like, why would you watch the show if I just tell you everything that's in the show? So I'd just like to kind of talk about it a little bit, maybe talk a little bit about spoilers. So in the third episode, I don't even think we went to China, to be totally honest. I think we just left all the characters that are in China just will get their own episode, I'm guessing, later on. We stuck pretty much with the cool part of this, which is that video game that keeps transporting them to worlds that are incredibly realistic with technology that's far beyond ours, and we learn why it's far beyond ours. And we also learn what the three body problem is, as our two intrepid gamers make it all the way to level 4. Once they make it to level 4, they're told, this is what this is. And one of them is like, done. Let's do it. The other one is like, bollocks. And he walks out. And I can't tell if that's a good or a bad. Probably a bad thing. Maybe a good thing. I don't know. It's interesting to think about, like, what would have happened if he had stayed. So they get to solve the three body problem, realizing that it's not the game is not to save the planet. It's to save the people. And then they find out that aliens are coming, and they have to help figure out how to help these aliens that are going to be living amongst us. It was a fun show. Anyway, and the technology was sent as sort of like an advance. Jonathan Pryce is heading up some sort of, I don't know, secret organization that is trying to find the brightest people who can solve this problem. And so we're getting into it, aren't we? And so the universe flickering and buttons being pushed and video games from the future and all sorts of things are all starting to make sense, because aliens might be the answer. Although, if the aliens are anything like what we see in the end of the episode, I don't know if they're really what we want to have floating around. There's a point where she asks, is this what the aliens look like? And they kind of suggest that they're not, and they made some alterations to make them look, better for our sake. And for lack of a better word, I think they might be computer programs. They might just be glitches, because and work with like electricity or technology or something, because there's something that happens at the tail end of this episode where something is likely not human, because again, they don't have that kind of technology, and also it's not really suggested that this is necessarily what was intended to have happen, which means somebody is acting as a rogue agent. So I don't want to spoil that for you. It's like the whole reason to watch the episode is always to get to the end and get to the cliffhanger to be like, what? I hate spoiling those moments for you guys. What? When they're good. When they're shitty, I don't mind. But when they're dumb, fine. This one's pretty good. So yeah, Three Body Problem's getting better. They're actually using their resources to figure out who it is we need to follow each episode instead of trying to follow the massive cast. The pilot was a mess of a pilot, where they were like, so we have basically 20 characters in this show. Just want to show you all of them at the same time. Wow, okay, that's a lot. And then ever since then, they've pared it down so that way we can focus more on people, we can learn their stories, we're getting more character development, the plot is advancing, everything is just sort of happening at a much better pace. And I'm enjoying the show a lot more. The audio description is doing quite well still. Nothing absurdly remarkable, where I'm like, wow, that one scene was crazy, except for how possibly how Newton and Turing are creating a human computer. That was kind of interesting. And but otherwise, basically a lot of stuff we had seen before. So I like the show. I hope you do. And I'm giving Three Body Problems season 1, episode 3, an A-. We're up to an A- now. We're getting there. Yep. Pilot was episodes 2 and 3 are much better. So if you watched the first episode and you weren't entirely sure about whether or not this was your show, give it a few more episodes, because they definitely focus more in, and they might tell you a little bit more about whether or not you do feel like this is actually something you would want to watch. I agree that the pilot is a mess. So if you're one of those people, I'm your voice. I'm here for you. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.